Great. Well, thanks, Tim. Thanks for joining the call. I obviously wanted to get a recording done between us because I think it'd be really interesting to talk about Firstbeat Life, or sort of the next gen in wellness and health monitoring. And I just thought it'd be really interesting from our perspective, working in sales and obviously customer contact, what feedback we are getting from our own HRV reports. And you've kindly shared your 2-day report with me. So this is your first day. This is your sort of first assessment. Yeah, your summary. So it's your first.
Sorry to cut in. So this is my 6th assessment, and this is by far my worst. And I've just been looking at the tracking actually of the different results, and they've been progressively going down. Well, they actually, I got 49 for the last lockdown, and this is 41. So it's been a busy start to the year. I'll just give you the overview. It's been a busy start to the year. I picked 2 days that were incredibly back-to-back busy, both work-wise, but also with the kids. The kids are off school, so we're homeschooling at the moment. So that puts additional pressure on, firstly, more so for my wife, but myself, where I've got to juggle some things as well. I'm the sort of maths teacher. So it's sort of combining the two, but I was really busy from a back-to-back point of view. And I have noticed over the last 12 months, or since March last year, I should say, that my physical exercise has decreased. I've had bursts of trying to, but I had a very structured physical exercise score. I had a very good physical exercise score, both from my VO2, but also my physical activity index, which was, you can see here, I mean, it stands out like a sore thumb at 7.
Yeah.
And that's really because I used to commute. You'd walk a lot. So the average, I think I was talking to Tina, our sort of lead coach from Finland, who said, the average sort of Londoner walks 3,000 to 4,000 steps per day when they commute. So, I'm missing that. And I'm also missing my lunchtime F45 high intensity sessions, which I do 2 or 3 times a week. So it's really having an effect because I'm just not moving. I'm sitting at a desk, and the most I'm moving is either to homeschool or to go to the kitchen.
Exactly. I've got to say as well, when we come to share mine, my score during the first 2 lockdowns essentially were equally sort of around the moderate, at the low end of moderate as well. It's really interesting to see how it affects people, particularly obviously if you've got children, which I don't. So again, we should maybe take a look at your first day of analysis. Oops.
So in essence, was it in line with what I was thinking? It was probably a little bit worse from a physical exercise point of view. And actually, I've learned a couple of things about sleep. I thought sleep would be a bit better.
Yeah.
I'll explain some stuff around that as we go through each of the days.
There we go.
Okay, I haven't put many markers down. I just said work time and sleep time. People should be aware that you can put as many markers in as possible. So this is a Thursday, starting in the morning and finishing the next morning. So you can see there that I had, if people, just to explain the colours, the green is sort of our rest and digest, or our parasympathetic dominance. Our red is our sympathetic dominance, or fight or flight. I call that the red Baron state. The green is the green goddess, and the blue is physical exercise. So hugely lacking in blues. Maybe a little bit of blue in the evening when I was running around. I do bath time. Yeah. So running around, grabbing the kids, trying to get them up for a bath, and then running around, tidying the house up, which they've absolutely destroyed during the day. So you can see the peak of stress in the morning.
Yeah, here.
That is a really busy time with Jacob, especially getting ready for homeschooling and then into homeschooling. So it's quite a, I think a lot of people out there who are doing homeschooling, it's not something that comes natural. Obviously, our respect for teachers goes through the roof when we realise what they have to do. And, for the kids, it's hard because, they see home as fun and relaxation. So trying to coerce them into being focused into schoolwork takes a little bit of time at the beginning of the day.
Sure.
The rest of the day is very much meetings back to back. I'm not sure of the meeting I had in the afternoon. I think I was starting to fatigue during the afternoon, and I had a couple of big meetings, big partnership meetings. And then obviously that's the end of the day. It drops down again, and there's a little. It drops down after 2. So I must have had a big meeting around 2ish. and the rest of the afternoon wasn't too bad. And there was bouts of green. I
Yeah.
tend to make some of my more personal calls and friendly calls at the end of the day, because I try to get the hard stuff done at the beginning of the day. So that kind of shows an interesting, but good that I'm getting some daytime recovery.
Yeah.
And then the sleep is not too bad on this particular day. A little bit of interruption. Sometimes that might be the kids coming in, or in this instance, I'm not sure. Maybe it was just
Yeah.
just changing state. I'm not sure, but a reasonably good sleep period with
Yeah.
plenty of green high bars there. So you can see there the big thing that's missing is physical exercise and perhaps a little bit
Sure.
more daytime recovery.
And you definitely benefited from the daytime recovery here because it's promoting obviously sort of good quality sleep, etc. But of course, you do have certain breaks, which is it's really, really good. But just before bedtime, there's some nice sort of green
I think what
relaxation as well.
I mean, during lockdown and homeschooling, wife and I are absolutely exhausted, so we go to bed pretty early. I think on this particular night, we might have watched one of the new David Attenborough. We enjoy those documentaries. It's called A Perfect Planet. And I think that we find that quite calming. And I think it was the only night of the week we actually were able to chill out.
Yeah.
So that showed a positive physiological response.
That's really good. That's really good. And if we just have a look at your sort of Friday, let's just take a look on that one, because I think if I can get your Friday, your final day, it does differ slightly, which is really good. It's great for a comparison.
So walking you through the day, you can see again that huge burst of, well, a bit of green at the beginning of the day. So that's probably coming out of a relaxed state. I think in this particular state, my little boy just wanted to have a bit of a cuddle in bed. That's always a good thing and has a nice response. And then I sort of get up and do the breakfast for him in the morning. So that's a nice response. And then getting into the workday again, the more stressful elements, I try to get out of the work out of the way at the beginning of the day. So that looks like it's a huge. That's probably a combination of Jacob running around, the kids making a lot of noise, me trying to get into work, and then it filters down periodically, and then it goes into an afternoon of really nice calls. Actually, had some really good positive commercial partnership calls. And just catching up with old contacts in the industry as well. I tend to do that on a Friday afternoon. I'd say they're both commercial partners, acquaintances, and friends. So that was quite nice to see that you can have work-based activity that brings on greens.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a game of two halves, that the morning and afternoon.
As you say, it's nice that you've got some sort of positive stress response in the sense that you can have some daytime recovery even while doing the day job. It just depends, obviously, of how those conversations are going for you. But it's great that you end your week that way.
And then the overlay is, it's bedtime. It's dinner time. It's bedtime. It's bath time with the kids. So that's always a bit manic in our house at the moment when we've got two young, one that's 5.5, one that's 3. So it's pretty full on. And then, I can see my sleep's interrupted all the way through, actually. I think there's a couple of things. I think we had a storm that night, and it was a bit more particularly cold, I think.
Yeah.
So it could have been the temperature of the environment. And I had one of our radiators is playing up in our bedroom, so it might have been, so I need to try to bleed it. So it's pretty cold in there. I think the beginning is a response to the evening, a pretty stressful evening. So even though I was asleep, I didn't get any greens until at least into my next third of my sleep, and then it was patchy all the way through. The other thing I do is I do a little bit of trading as well. So I do crypto trading as well. So maybe I was glued to my phone when something was probably not going in the direction that I'd like. So maybe it might have been the mobile phone with blue light going on there.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask. If you're pretty sensible in terms of sleep hygiene, etc., do you keep?
I don't think I
was.
I think I probably kicked off on the Friday night, and I was probably doing some late trading or maybe looking at the phone. And we have a sort of trading group. So I was probably, and then I probably left my phone by the side of the bed. and it might have been notifications, might have been buzzing, so it might have been a combination of the environment,
Yeah.
a relatively stressful day, and blue light from the mobile.
That's it. It's surprising how it does affect sleep, and because I used to be really dreadful with that. So I actually used to turn my phone off completely and put it downstairs. But sadly, that old habit's crept back in.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good,
crept
and
back in.
it's a habit that does come back
Yeah.
because we're used to sort of instant gratification, aren't we? We work our lives through the phone, so you do fear. I think it's the fear of missing out scenario.
For sure.
But if you're disciplined, you should turn it off. You should leave it downstairs or in a different room. And yeah, that's something that has highlighted to me. So the things that jumped out for me is how can I bring in more physical exercise? So I've done a couple of things. We're doing a couple of things. We've ordered a what do you call it? Not a bike, an indoor bike, but an indoor stepper.
Yeah.
A good one that will sit in our office.
Yeah.
So that I can, if it's not feasible to go outside, especially if it's pouring with rain like today, then I can schedule a 30-minute, 40-minute high intensity burst.
Exactly.
I like group training as well, so I do struggle to push myself. But I do need to. In the summer, I was pretty good at scheduling in times to go out on the bike. I live in the country, so I do. But I have to say, the last couple of weeks and since the new year, I've been pretty poor at doing that. I have bought a new pair of trainers, but they're still sitting in the box. So I'm looking forward to getting them on at some stage.
Oh gosh. Well, as you know, if you're focused on improving physical activity throughout even a period of days, weeks, months, it will obviously impact and promote a positive lifestyle change and increase the score for the lifestyle assessment, which is obviously what you'd hope to see potentially in the next installment of that. You want to see a score greater than 7 out of 100. But do you typically schedule sort of training throughout the week, like 2-3 times a week? Is that what you're going to sort of set a goal for yourself?
I was pretty good when Jacob was at school. It's been more challenging when you can hear some noise going out there now. It's end of first call, I think.
Yeah.
And so it'll all go a little bit mayhem. First period or whatever they call it. So that's hard because when you schedule it to come out, you come outside, and to be honest, my wife looks absolutely knackered. So I want to help her out. So it's almost she's finding it hard to find time. So with kids it's hard to schedule. But when he goes back to school, it's much easier to then build that into your day.
Yeah.
And I was pretty disciplined with that before, but yeah, it's been hard during this lockdown. But it's just finding those moments where perhaps you could go for a walking meeting because you're in the same line as I am, but we're talking to people all the time. So I've got Bluetooth headsets, I've got all the tech. I've just got to get myself walking and talking more often. And that's something I'm trying to do.
I was going to say, one piece of advice I'd give is I do take some calls out with me on a walk, just for even give myself a daylight hour, because as you know, it's darker in the winter months, and just to get some a pocket of daylight really helps. But to take the calls outside, but just going back to the app as well with Firstbeat Life, obviously you will have had some highlights and insights from that app, because there are intuitive moments where it will flag up a suggestion and or something that you can implement into a goal. I will record this at some point, but I've just opened up my goal setting on the app itself. It's blurred, Tim, I'm afraid.
What about now?
We can see it now. That's it. So that's recommendations for you.
So Tina's, I've got a video of Tina about getting recovery. I think there's health benefits from exercise. So bang on what I need to do. So Tina's one of our master coaches, if not the master coach, and she's given me some actions, because what I love about the product, it's not just self-monitoring, it's coaching as well. So it's people and tech. It's people and tech, and basically for me to initiate change, I like not just monitoring myself, but I like to have that coaching session that can instigate the change. So Tina, straight away that video has been personalized, and it's focused on my goals, and she's giving great tips and advice in that to for me and people that are struggling. And we do see with the data overall, don't we, is that during lockdowns we see physical exercise drops off a cliff. So we do need tips and help and support to improve our physical exercise during these tricky times.
Absolutely, and there are some built-in suggestions as well. Again, I'll record this, but I doubt you can probably see this. But on here, it's suggestions for taking obviously shorter, regular breaks throughout the day, but maybe to modify the work schedule so you can have realistic breaks in the day as well, and maybe set a no later than. So emails no later than, or phones by the bed no later than. So there are helpful suggestions on there, so you're not on your own as well. So that intuitive goal setting aligned with obviously the insights is really useful to help people move forward and progress. But as you said, it's people in data, people in tech, and if we use it intelligently, it can be really a great resource for us. But I think that's great. Thanks for the rundown. We're going to do mine next time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing yours. I haven't seen yours yet. I'm sure that you've smashed it out of the park, as I know you will. So I'm looking forward to seeing your results. I'm just going to focus on those two areas: is some recovery, plenty of physical exercise, preparation for sleep and sleeping environment. And I'm looking forward to doing I'll do another assessment probably the same time next month to see if there's been some improvements.
Yeah.
Because I know that I need to turn it around, because we can always be busy, can't we? But as we need to have good health.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And aside from that, it's really interesting potentially just to review your own, as you say, your three lifestyle assessment scores as per lockdown, how they've impacted you as per your norm with the commute and daily regular routine, etc. So it's been really insightful. Really, really insightful. Thank you. But I'll show mine next time, and we'll do a little Q&A then, and I'll talk about some of the insights, because my score is slightly better than yours. However, there are still areas that I need to focus on, because I know in terms of training, I have a tendency to overtrain. So again, the insights are there for me to follow. So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have a chat about that. But thank you.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Jenna. Always a pleasure. And let's do the reverse. We'll look forward to doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Tim.
Okay. Take care.
Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.